What's going on, everybody? My name is Haven, and in this video I'm going to survive 200 days in Minecraft Skyblock Hardcore. If you haven't seen already, I have already survived 100 days in this world, which was fully shown back on a video I uploaded in August. I will put a link in the description and in the top right card now in case you want to quickly check that out before you watch this video. To give a very quick summary, me and my buddy Austin survived 100 days in Skyblock, completed 49 of the 50 challenges and headed to the mainlands. And after a lot of requests, it's finally time for the two of us to jump back into this world and take it to its absolute limits. Before I say that, 3 little quick things I want to mention. Number 1, I'm so close to 30,000 subscribers and I'm really hoping to get there by the end of the year. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but I'm still going to aim for it. So please, if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing. That's all I'll ask. Secondly, to celebrate that 30k whenever I do hit it, I'm doing a 30k AMA with the community post you can see on screen. I'll put a link in the description in case you want to ask me any questions, and I'm quite excited to do that. And finally, as I normally do, I'm going to give YouTube comment shout out of the day to Matthew Puckett. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but he just simply says, "You're so underrated, bro. Keep up the good content." Matthew, thank you for enjoying. I really hope you keep enjoying the content for as long as I make it. Let's get back to it. So you'd think the best place to start would be on day 101, but I'm actually going to jump a little bit in the future and go to day 108. And the reason I'm going to do that is because during the first 8 days, me and Austin were talking about what we wanted to accomplish during that time, but it was just audio clips that happened over these 8 days. What I decided to do on day 108 was make the classic Haven and to-do board, and this was all the stuff that we wanted to do together whilst in the 200 days survival. You can see on screen the main stuff we're doing here, but obviously kill your wither, kill your ender dragon, the full netherite armor, make a full enchanter setup, pretty much your standard stuff you'd want to do in Skyblock is all on this board. And once we go over these 200 days, I will be focusing on that board to try and complete every challenge I possibly can, and I'll keep referring back to it again and again when I am going through these 200 days. And now that we've started on day 108, let's take it all the way back to day 101, where me and Austin finally jumped back into this world. The last time we actually played this world was about middle of August, probably a bit before, so it had been a solid 3 or 4 months since we actually, did anything to do with this Skyblock world. And so we spent the first day just basically reassociating ourselves with what was around, what we were doing, and what needed to be done. It wasn't until day 2 that I headed towards the mainlands, with the plan being to make a little bit of a safety shack from when we go to the mainlands. I'll just clarify that when I say mainlands, I mean the island that isn't the Skyblock, the outer rim that's just normal Minecraft. And when I say Skyblock Island, I'm obviously talking about the Skyblock Island. I don't really want to be on the mainlands too much, especially after this very, very scary moment of nearly dying on day 102. That would have been the worst way to start and, well, end. I tried to survive 200 days in Minecraft and died on day 102. Probably won't be a very entertaining video to watch, so I'm very grateful that, I didn't die. I also want to make something very clear, because obviously this is a bit of a different 100 days video. Most 100 days content in Minecraft, they can basically do whatever they want because they have the full resources of the mainland. And we're now put in a situation where we could technically just ignore our Skyblock Island and focus on the mainland itself. And after speaking to Austin and having a general conversation with my chat, which, just a reminder, twitch.tv/Havenand, I streamed the entire thing there, we sort of came to the agreement that we'd only ever really go to the mainland. It was impossible, pretty much, for us to collect anything from the actual Skyblock itself. For example, dirt is the most common thing that we collected from there, but whenever we could get like cobble or wood or anything like that, we would focus on getting it from the Skyblock land, and we wouldn't focus on getting it to the mainland. So though we did get materials from the mainland, we didn't focus our entire world there. We constantly went back to the Skyblock and lived our lives on there. I hope that explains everything, and I hope people don't think it's too cheap for me to collect any materials from the mainlands, but I want to explain that before I get too into it, so when you see me in the mainlands, it's not me just cheating away, basically. I am still trying to get all the materials I can from the Skyblock. Anyway, back to it on day 103, I basically just finished the safety shack off, so now whenever we do want to head to the mainlands, we have a nice little safe area that we can go into, so we don't have to worry about any mobs or anything around the dark oak forest that the safety shack is located in. Like I say, on day 104, I couldn't really get dirt from the main Skyblock, so the main island was where I was focusing on getting my dirt. I just dug a bunch with the plan to get as much dirt as I can to make a sort of a general dirt platform. The idea was I wanted to basically have animals to spawn on our main Skyblock. I thought it'd be really simple to just get some animals to just naturally spawn on our Skyblock Island if we had enough grass. We'll see how that goes a little later in the video. The only problem I did have was that I could only put dirt down and didn't have any grass around, so on day 5 I took a little tactic from 2 Awesome Gamers, for anybody who's watched those guys in the past, and took a piston and pretty much just moved the grass block over. Animals won't spawn on dirt, they'll only spawn on grass, so this was my only option, and we didn't have silk touch on anything that we had, so this honestly was the best option that we had. And on the same day, Austin was spending most of his time in the Nether working on a gold farm. We're gonna need gold for a beacon anyway, so I'm really grateful that he started this nice and early. On day 6, I went back to the mainlands with the soul goal to just get 2 diamonds. I needed an enchant table, simply put, and it was quite easy to do with, you know, the wall showing a bunch of diamonds in them. I was able to, however, get obsidian from the skyblock. I'm not sure how many people have noticed, but we do have a broken nether portal in the nether from some shenanigans that we did in the original 100 days, and so I was able to easily just pick off 4 obsidian from that. I've already gone over day 108, so I'm going to just go to day 109 and 110, which was pretty much go to the mainlands, grab a bunch of dirt, expand the dirt section. I just want to make it as big as possible to try and get these animals to spawn. I was also starting to plant down some trees, because one of the goals that I had was I want every kind of tree on the island itself. At this point, I only needed jungle and acacia, so you know, pretty good start. And then day 111, I got to clear up one of my biggest regrets with the first 100 days. You see, a little reminder for those who obviously don't remember, it's been a while since I uploaded the video. One of the goals was to get 10 bookshelves in Skyblock, and I was able to get 9 bookshelves. And when I was about to get my 10th, the villager who was trading the bookshelves, well, he died to a zombie. And unfortunately, we ran out of time, so I was literally 1 bookshelf off finishing that challenge. Would have been the perfect 50 out of 50, but I did it now. It was 11 days late, technically, but you know what? I still did the challenge, still got all 50 done. I did it the most awkward way possible, but I still did it. I can also mark it as the first thing I completed off the board, so get wrecked, nerds. On day 12, I went back to some dirt digging. This time not to actually expand the island, but because I wanted to make a melon farm. My chat recommended that one of the best ways to actually get emeralds is through melons. And so after getting the dirt on day 12, on day 13, I just simply started making a very large melon farm. I never actually made a melon farm before. I've never actually abused melons with melon trading, so I'll have to see how the profits work in the long term, but it's only 4 melons per emerald, so I think the outcome could be really profitable for me. I had some leftover dirt though on day 15, and so I decided to expand the dirt area again. There's not really anything else I'm going to do with it, so I may as well pop it there. And then day 16 came around, and I got to end one of the most annoying things that I've ever had to deal with. So in the first 100 days video, we got a wandering trader with 2 llamas, right? And we tried to breed them. We couldn't breed them. And Austin googled it and found out that you can't breed wandering traded llamas. I didn't really think much about it at the time, however, when I uploaded the video, everybody and their mothers were commenting, hey, why didn't you just breed the llamas? With a few people saying the reason we couldn't breed the llamas was because we couldn't tame them. Well, for all you people who thought that, for all you people who was like, you idiots, why didn't you breed them? It turns out, you can't. I tried to tame these llamas, I tried to feed these llamas, I tried to do everything with these llamas. You cannot breed wandering traded llamas. It's kind of a bit relieving, because if not, it would have been really annoying to have, well, let's just say it would have been really annoying to know that I could have got the bookshelves much earlier in the last 100 days compared to now. Also, they just randomly despawned a little later. Not really sure what happened there. Between 17 and 19, I pretty much just spent that time trading with some more villagers. I wanted to get a bunch of emeralds to get the bookshelves to knock off the level 30 enchanter from the board, which I was able to do on day 19. And then in my first level 30 enchant, I enchanted a diamond sword and got sharpness 4 on breaking free, looting free. And the best thing about this sword, apart from it being an amazing sword, my next plan was to go into the nether and get some wither skulls. So getting looting free right there and then, perfect. Before I could pop into the nether though, I had to fix my melon farm. You see, whilst I was streaming myself making the nether farm, I had about 10 to 15 viewers. And at the same time, obviously Austin was there overseeing me build the entire thing. None of them at any point told me that melons can't grow on cobblestone. They have to grow on dirt. No one told me. No one told me a thing. The thing is as well, they were all calling me idiots and laughing at me for, you know, not knowing this, but none of them corrected me. None of them pointed it out to me. I'll admit that I'm an idiot when it comes to Minecraft. You can't point and laugh after if you didn't point out the same thing. That's right, chat, I'm calling you out. What are you gonna do about it? Anyway, I got it half fixed on day 20, and on day 21, I started hunting those wither skulls. It really did not take that much time, 25 minutes at most. And by the time day 23 was here, well, I had all 3 skulls that I needed. I mean, to be fair, I only needed 2. Obviously, I got the wither skull in the first 100 days for those that remember. I did actually get it free though, just by a bit of luck more than anything. So, got 4 wither skulls. When I am ready to fight the wither, I'm going to take him on hard. And once I got back on day 23, I decided that I just wanted to, get all the saplings that I needed. Like I say, I only need the acacia and jungle tree, so I set off on my journey there. Day 24, found in a savanna, relatively simple. That was to find. I mean, savannas aren't the most uncommon biome in the world. The jungle, however, is a bit more of a trick. However, I'm going to refer to a bit of an older series that I used to watch on YouTube. Like I mentioned, one of the big inspirations for me to play Skyblock and love Skyblock was two YouTubers that go by the name of Two Awesome Gamers. They don't really make content anymore, which is a bit disappointing, but their Skyblock series was fantastic. And they was able to go to the mainlands themselves, and what they found on the mainlands is a jungle biome. Now, I didn't know exactly where this jungle biome was, however, I did know that they found it on the rim of the mainland, so where the Skyblock world starts, there was a jungle there. And so on day 25, I would just started searching the rim of the Skyblock, and wouldn't you know, there was a jungle. I picked up some jungle saplings, I picked up some bamboo, and I was pretty much done with this jungle, so I skedaddled. And by the time I got back on day 26, I pretty much just spent until day 28 fixing and filling the melon farms. It's now pretty much fully ready to harvest, so now I just gotta, pick up some melons. Like I say, 4 melons, 1 emerald, that's a really good trade. And with the extra dirt that I have, I started finishing off the dirt island I had as well. That took me until day 32. Day 133, and I decided that I wanted to go back to the roots of Skyblock, and, well, I started grinding some cobble. The plan was, since Austin was making a gold farm, I wanted to make an iron farm. And I'll be honest with you, never done it before, never made an iron farm before, so I was a bit like, eh. However, after watching a couple of useful tutorials on YouTube, it looked relatively simple to do. Looked being the key word in that state. And after I got enough cobble, I took a little bit of a break. You see, there's a lot of cats roaming around on the island because of the villages that I had, and I thought, you know what? I want my own little cat army. I'm not making the Clouder joke again. I would love to make the Clouder joke again, but I have been threatened to not make the Clouder joke again. I do miss the pack, though. I called them the pack. And so, like I say, I spent my time fishing, which took me all the way until day 36 when I had a couple of cats. During this time as well, whilst I was being obviously super productive, Austin was able to finish the gold farm. So, Austin, good job, buddy. After messing around with the cats, I finally got to work on the iron farm. Took me a while, actually all the way up until day 39, and after a couple of mistakes here or there, I finally got it moving. We just have to get the zombies and the villagers up there and, we'll be flying. I wish there was an easier way that we could have done it, but we got them up there. It only took 3 Minecraft days. But by the time day 43 hit, we was able to actually, get them up there. What we did was we got some soul sand, put some water in there, managed to shoot them up in there, and then close them off into their nice little safe area. The only thing we had to do was really clean it up on day 44 afterwards. Obviously get rid of the soul sand from the floor and get rid of the actual wooden things itself. And then Austin died. So, the soul sand that was in the floor. Remember in the first 100 days when I dug in the floor and landed in that water and was able to swim back up? I got very lucky. Austin didn't have that luxury, and so when he removed the soul sand and jumped through, there wasn't any water down there to catch him, and so on day 44, Austin died. There was a little bit of an argument of technically it's hardcore for me and should Austin be brought back, but I feel like it would have done a lot of discredit to me and the series if I did allow Austin to carry on. And so, with a very, very heavy heart and a lot of disappointment, I'm going to have to carry on the rest of this world, well, by myself. Rest in peace to Sanchez Steamer. For the love of Christ, please do not Google his name. The worst part of it all was on day 45, the iron farm wasn't actually working anyway. Someone suggested that maybe it was because the villagers were too close, and so I basically spent the time moving the villagers to a new section completely away from the iron farm. And after that, on day 46, I gave my credit to Austin and, well, I made him this little grave. There's probably some people out there that's thinking, why did I choose melons? And the simple answer is, Austin loves melons. I was very, very depressed during this time. I mean, I spent 144 days with the dude, and now I'm just completely by myself. In the grand scheme of things, I bet he was probably happy that he didn't have to spend any more time with me. That just makes me more sad. And just to add on to the utter depression of the situation, on day 47, I was killing the iron golems around because I thought that could be another issue. How in the world did I kill this villager? Like, what? Can someone explain to me how I hit this villager? That ruined so many trades. I couldn't trade with villagers for like 5 or 6 days because they like tripled their prices. Listen, I know what it's like to kill someone's brother. You know what? I should probably cut that out. Anyway, after that, I went back to the mainlands to grab some more dirt. I just wanted to turn more of the central area from cobble to dirt, just because I felt like the grass and maybe some flowers would look a little bit nicer. That work took me until day 148, so got a lot of work done in those 2 days. And then on day 149, I wanted to re-enchant my diamond armor so it all had protection 3 or protection 4. So it took a couple of attempts, but I managed to get it done. I was pretty happy about that one. On day 150, I had a bit of a problem. You see, the gold farm that Austin made was brilliant, but you needed 2 people to actually make it work. So what I did was, I tried to do it myself. Unfortunately, it was very boring to watch on stream, me just being AFK. And so I got my alt sugar puffs to just stand at the gold farm and just let all the pigmen drop and die. The problem with that is that it caused a lot of FPS issues. There were so many experience balls down at the bottom of the gold farm. And so the next time I entered the nether, I was getting a solid 5 FPS at most. And that's a solid most. And so I couldn't really do my AFK strat with my alt account, so I'm going to have to figure out something on how to get large amounts of gold when I do eventually take on that beacon task. The great news was, though, the iron farm started working, so I can have an unlimited supply of iron at this point. That's pretty good. I then spent day 51 trying to get a brilliant worker pickaxe, an efficiency 4 and a breaking 3 pickaxe, which only took a couple of attempts. The goal was I wanted to get some netherite to, you know, boost all my armor and tools up and everything, so after getting that, on day 152, I entered the nether with the goal of getting some netherite. It took me until day 154 for me to get 4 pieces of netherite, and that's all I really needed for now, so I decided to head back home. I will return soon enough to actually get the rest to, you know, cover myself in armor and get the tools up, but for now, that's all I need. Day 55 was focused on me getting a mending book, though. I realized there's no point in having a netherite pickaxe or netherite anything if it's just going to break in the long run, so I spent my time trying to get this villager to give me mending. It only took me a solid 10 minutes, I'm not complaining. Day 56, when I finally got that mending book, I was able to turn my pickaxe into a netherite. I added mending onto the pickaxe, which only cost me 2 levels, which was a bit of a surprise. And then after annoying a couple of pigmen, I popped down there and my pickaxe was filled just like that. I'm not sure if you heard the click, but there was a click. It was very quick. Hey, that was a rhyme. Once I had my pickaxe filled up on day 157, I went back into the mainlands in the nether, and, well, I went netherite hunting. This one took me a lot longer, because obviously I wasn't sleeping or anything, but by the time I was done on day 60, I had 21 pieces of netherite to my name. That's enough to make all of my armor netherite, as well as my sword, which is exactly what I wanted. I don't need an axe or a shovel, because the village trays I have, they're really good diamond trays, and I just don't see a point in fully upgrading them. And here I am on day 61, turning both my sword and all of my armor into the full netherite. Who would have thought when I started on that grassy island with Austin all that time ago that I would be standing here with a level 30 enchanter and full netherite armor? How far we've come. On day 62, when we was moving the zombie over for the iron farm, we clogged up the mob grinder, which I decided to unclog. However, we actually opened up the mob grinder, so all the mobs that were falling, well, they managed to escape and start a mutiny. And this is one of the many reasons why I absolutely love having netherite armor. Even though there was a lot of mobs, they just couldn't do damage to me. Protection 3 and Protection 4 netherite armor is so good. I feel untouchable. On day 163, the original villager hut that I had, I turned it into a storage shack. Basically, I wanted to keep my stuff organized from now on, just so I can keep track of where everything is. And so I put a bunch of chests in there to keep it organized, and then spent all of day 164 organizing the chests themselves. It's not fun to do, but trust me, it's so useful to have in the long run. On day 165, I decided I needed to grind a bunch of cobble. I wanted to get as much cobble as I can to basically make a platform that I could fight the wither on, and that's pretty much what I did until day 169. Nice. Where I made the platform not as big as I originally thought I was going to, but big enough that plenty of space for me to maneuver around on in case I did have any issues. I decided, despite my great armor and just overall everything I had, I was going to be safe and just brewed a couple of potions. Health potions, regeneration potions, and strength potions, just to, you know, protect myself in the long run. And then on day 72, I fought the wither. What I did do was I actually brought some iron golems over that were just hanging around on my island, and they just did nothing. It was me versus the wither. And every time he was hitting me, he was actually sending me a little into the air, which had me a bit concerned that I was going to fall off of the island. But in the grand scheme of things, he really didn't do too much damage to me. I think I was just so over-prepared for this, if I'm being honest with you. Thanks to the regeneration potions and the strength potions, once he hit his second phase, he was very, very easy to take down. And so for the first time ever in my life, I had killed the wither in Skyblock. I've only ever killed 2 or 3 withers in Minecraft anyway, so I think I've done alright here. I pretty much just had to make the beacon, and I was pretty much ready to go from that point. I still had a couple of pieces of obsidian left from the original broken nether portal. However, I didn't have any sand on the island anymore. I think I used the last of it to make these potion bottles, and so I had to take a quick trip to the mainland just to get a couple of pieces of sand. I only got 6. I know you only need 5, but for some weird reason I thought you needed 6. And then headed straight back. So like I say, I'm limiting what I get from the mainlands. I'm only getting the stuff that, you know, I need to get. And then on day 74, I was able to finally make the beacon. The next goal is going to be a long one. I wanted to create a full powered beacon. Here's the problem with making a full beacon in Skyblock. I could have easily just popped to the mainland, mined for an hour or two, got as much iron or gold as I needed, popped back, and, well, made myself a full powered beacon. But this is 200 days in Skyblock, and it kind of feels a bit cheaty to pop to the mainlands and take shortcuts, so I decided, you know what? I'm gonna do this myself. So between the days of 175 all the way until day 190, I just went AFK. I was sat at the gold farm for probably 12 of those days and got so much gold. And after that, I did a little AFKing at the iron farm because I wanted to make a bit of a multi-layered beacon. This was the only time in the entirety of the 200 days, whether the first video or the second video, that I spent not streaming, because let's be honest, who wants to watch me spend the equivalent of over 250 minutes just stood around doing nothing? I know I wouldn't want to watch it, and I know my chat wouldn't want to watch it, so only time I'll ever not be streaming this is when I was AFK in this moment. At least until I do 300 days and have to AFK a little more, but we'll deal with that if I ever do 300 days. And by the time I was done on day 190, I was able to create a full powered beacon. The second time I've ever done this for the record, the only other time being in the 1 block video, so I was very proud that I managed to get a beacon in this world. And with marking that task off the board, there was only really 2 tasks that I needed to do. I had to kill an ender dragon, and I had to find an end city. And so I spent the rest of day 90 simply preparing for the end. Day 191, I found the end portal, but whilst travelling over there, a couple of Eyes of Ender broke, so I wasn't actually able to complete the end portal. And so I had to quickly go up to the surface, grab a couple of Ender Pearls, and head back down, filling the portal. After taking one last nap, I jumped into the end on day 92, and, well, killed the Ender Dragon. I really wish I could talk more about this fight, but honestly, it was really easy. A mixture of strength 2 and a sharpness 4 netherite sword, and I was just so easily able to put down the nether dragon. I was so easily able to put down the ender dragon. The thing is, I was never really worried about killing the ender dragon. It was more about the end city and finding that. And so I picked up the egg and I started moving. Now, the last time I did this, the last time I searched for an end city, again, it was in the 1 block. That took me over 2 hours, if I remember correctly. It took me so long to find. And though I was only on day 192, I only had until day 200 to get there, so I knew I had to get moving. And so I started searching, and oh, there's one. Well, to say this is the most easy end I've ever had to deal with is a friggin' understatement. By the end of day 92, I was in an end city after killing an end dragon, having the end dragon egg in my inventory, and by the time that I got there, day 193 struck, I was able to get myself the elytra. I was able to collect the dragon head. I stood on top of that ship like a champion, and then I flew back home. And by the time I actually got back to the mainlands, it was still day 93, it was just night, and all I had to do was safely travel back, and I'd be okay. Oh my god. Jesus, Daniel! I said safely travel back, and I'd be okay. I've never really used an elytra before, so you'll have to bear with me on the, well, almost suicidal moments. I got back by the night of day 93, woke up on day 94, and, well, basically found a small hiccup. I forgot that I put all of my stuff, all the good stuff, in an ender chest in the end city, just because I wanted some more inventory space. And so I had to go ahead and, you know, create an ender chest, just so I could, you know, pop in there and grab all the stuff I needed. I did have to run back to the mainlands to get the obsidian, because quite frankly, I was out of obsidian at this point. I did have an extra couple of ender pearls and blaze rods though, so it was only obsidian obsidian that I needed to grab. That took me until day 195, where I was able to make the ender chest, made a little bit of a throne, basically to show my respect to the ender dragon and his ender dragon egg. It really isn't much, and admittedly, if I could change it at all, I'd get some end rods and pop them on there, but I really felt it was unnecessary to run all the way back to the end to pick up a couple of end rods to run all the way back. Maybe I'll do that in 300 days. And so there was only really two more things I wanted to do. The first one was to get enough emeralds to buy a bunch of mending books to put mending on all of my stuff. And this is where Big Brain Play Havenan came in, because whilst I was in the Nether, you know, grinding for that gold, I decided, just to be safe, I'm going to keep the zombie flesh. And so here's a pretty much full double chest of zombie flesh. And after trading all of that, by the end of day 97, I was able to get 5 mending books. One for my sword, one for my boots, one for my pants, one's for my helmet, one's for the elytra. I already did my chestplate much earlier, so I had full mending on everything. I would like to clarify though, because I promised my chat that I would show this, that I did not spend any levels until I reached level 169. If you think I am immature, my chat is to blame. I then did the last thing I really wanted to do in this 200 days, and on day 198, I moved Austin's grave. I decided to basically make a little cemetery on the grass area. I never got any animals to spawn in the 200 days. It's very clear that I'm doing something wrong, so I may as well turn this into something a bit more respectful. And in that moment, I decided to just, well, say my final goodbyes. Hello, Austin. Moved your grave. I hope you like your new spot. I left you a friend, because obviously I can't always be around. His name is Meow Meow McFuzzyface. I know you prefer dogs to cats, but I don't have any dogs, so hope he'll do. All I'll say is, you know, thank you. I mean, you built the house, obviously, and you helped me with half the stuff, which is kind of just like, eh. But I think the main reason I want to thank you is because, before we uploaded the 100 days, I was basically going to give up on it until I was like, maybe I should ask somebody if they want to do it with me. And I feel like at the time you were the only person that would have been like, yeah, sure, why not? So, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have 30k on YouTube, and yeah. It means a lot to me that you said yes. And you will be missed. No homo. All the best, buddy. And with a heavy heart, I got to day 200. Also, massive shout out to my buddy Shadow Apples for giving me a huge 99-man raid. So, all the people in chat pretty much was raided from him. I hope they get to see themselves in the chat here whilst I'm talking at the end. And that, kids, is how I made it to day 200 in Skyblock without dying. That's how Austin died. That's how I killed the Ender Dragon. And that's how I got to this point. I really thank you so much for watching this content. The first 100 days literally has made my channel even slightly, and I'll say slightly, relevant. I find it funny that watching the end of the 100 days, I'm like, hey guys, I'm really close to 4,000 subscribers. Can you help me out by getting there? And that one video alone has got me over 15,000 subscribers. At 1.5 million views, I can guarantee that most of the people that will watch this video have already watched the first, and it's just such a incredible experience to say that from August my channel has literally quadrupled in size. In fact, even more. I don't know the 8th version, but like 8 times in size. I can't thank you guys enough for obviously, you know, enjoying the content and sticking around, even if it was just one video that obviously helped you find me. And I hope within the new year I'm able to create content that you guys keep on enjoying. I don't know why this is such a sad and heartfelt ending, but it's just so incredible to think that I was able to make a sequel to a video that has 1.5 million views. That's soon to be 1.6. The only thing I'll end off by saying is, Austin, I know you won't be part of this series anymore, but I am so grateful that you took part in the first 100 days with me. It meant a lot. Not many people would want to put up with me for 100 days in Skyblock. And one last reminder, we're at the end of the year. If you're feeling a little generous, maybe press that subscribe button. If I can get to 30k by the end of the year, that is just such a crazy achievement, and I'd be over the goddamn moon, quite frankly. I hope you guys have a fantastic Christmas, a great new year, and let's just hope 2021 will be slightly better than 2020, because let's be honest for a second, this whole lockdown situation has not been great for a lot of people. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Goodbye.